Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15 Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that Facebook page as well, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. All right. Listen. All right. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the bell. That's the notification button. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, yay. Come on, man. You know we got to have a mobile app. So do us a favor. Download the app. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworth, Venture, Weebolts, Gold Blast, wherever you get them from. All right, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on a go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Man, we at Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. All right, so do us a favor. Do us a solid, yeah? All right, listen, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. If you have a Roku device in the house, do it. Do it now. Do it good. Do it like you know you should. I won't continue that. It's a family show, so I'll stop it right there. Put us right next to Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Prime, Apple Plus, Disney Plus, Stars. Oh, yeah, new episode of BMF tonight has come out already. Yay. Paramount Plus, Peacock. Just put us right there on the big screen. You put us there on your TV. All right? And you can watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right? Mickey, Ficky, now. All right, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we got a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, Leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here on the thread. I'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. You. So bring them all, baby. We want them all. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got to do this quick. Cornelius Squalls in the Mickey Ficky house. What up, sports zoners? That's what I'm talking about. Good morning, Cornelius. My girl, Lovette Lee. What's up, mama? Thank you for tuning in. How you doing? That's what I'm talking about. Michonne Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Michonne, for tuning in. No burpees today, Papa. No burpees. I was happy. Jay Grizz. Hey, happy Friday, champs. Jay Grizz in the Mickey Ficky house. That's what I'm talking about. HT Adam up in this mother Hubbard. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Man, we got a whole Black Rain 7920 in the house. Woo wee, man, we are in it. All right, the chat is jumping already, but listen, I don't know a lot, but I do know this. There will be more of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. We got a great show for you, man. At the bottom of the hour at 9:30, Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now. He's going to join us. We're going to talk a little Bears football, baby. All right, they had Caleb Williams in. Looks like they're going to take him. What do we do at 9? Are you offense, defense, trade back? What do you do? Man, we're going to talk to Harrison Graham. First time coming on the show. I'm excited to have him on. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to having him on. Then 10 o'clock, David Kenyon's going to join the party. Man, we got a lot of hoops. Hoopity hoop, hoops. NCAA tournament, men's and women's. The women starts tonight, the Final Four. Final Four games tonight. Both games tonight. They're coming from the land, from Cleveland. Why? I don't even know. The hell? Why? I guess they had to give Cleveland something. Cleveland's trash. Trash. You know, they had to give Cleveland something. All right? Like Joe Noah said, no one says I'm going vacationing to in Cleveland. Nobody. It's a mistake by the lake. Okay? I hear they're building up their downtown area. Good. It's about time. It took you 50 freaking years. They're like, okay, women's basketball is getting popular. We'll give them the women's Final Four. I mean, we already gave them the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why? Because no one else, other than that, what the hell is there to go see in Cleveland? I mean, real talk. If anyone's from Cleveland or knows people from Cleveland or got people in Cleveland, has been to Cleveland for, a few times, what the hell is there to go see in Cleveland? All right, you don't talk about Cleveland's world-class restaurants like you do here. You don't talk about their world-class lakefront, although they are on the lake. You don't talk about the nightlife. You don't talk about the theater district in Cleveland. No. What the hell is there to do in Cleveland? That's why the NCAA said, you know what? We'll give you the women's Final Four. Jay Grizz, what's up? Yes. So here's the thing. I love history. Oh, I love my city. Okay? Black Rain, you a fool. You ain't lying, but you a fool. Best thing to come out of Cleveland was Bone. Little Bone Thugs in Harmony. I love my city. So I knew this from driving to college. I had to drive down 80. Took all the way 80 all the way through Indiana, through Ohio, through Pennsylvania, to Massachusetts to get to Holy Cross. All right, when I got my car my senior year. And it was just all factories on the lake, like you said, Jay Grizz. And then I found out why. All right, they just wanted to keep commerce. And, this kind of ties into the Bears situation, the Friends of the Park. Well, it's called the Field Museum for a reason. Well, Marshall Fields, the owner of Marshall Fields, was one of the proponents of keeping the lakefront for the people. He was one of a few heavy hitters who wanted to keep the lakefront for the people, which is why we don't have all our docks and everything and all the commerce. That's way south. Okay, way south. All right, but up until like 63rd, really, 79th, all the way up till there, all the way up to Hollywood and into Evanston. all that is for the people. And they made sure that that was like that because they didn't want, it's the first, Chicago's the first city. If you look west, any city on the lake is all industrial. It's all docks and factories. Yeah. So I digress. Little history lesson in the morning on Shawn and Maya in the morning. Mr. Shawn, hey, what's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I just saw him check in. Oh, snap, King, book a world in this mother hubbard. Hell yeah. I told you the usual suspects are going to come in. Oh, there's my man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. I love it. I mean, Patty's pretty close behind. Monica's going to be there with Jeremiah. And I haven't said hi. So you know what? I want to say hi to Jeremiah and to Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth, Junior's grandson. So Dito, Jojo, and Jeremiah, good morning. Man, we got to tell you, we got a great show. We're going to kick it off at the bottom of the hour, so we got to get it started. Let's get it started. Oh, I'm sorry. Cue up MC Hammer. One of MC Hammer's award-winning hits. But I ain't gonna lie, I loved MC Hammer. I used to dance. I was a big dancer. Big dancer. All right, my uncle told me. My Uncle Frank, God rest his soul. My Uncle Frank, I'm a guy, he used to like to imbibe a lot, okay? But no matter how happy he was, when music came on, that joker could dance his freaking ass off. And he told me when I was a kid, I was like 10, 12, something like that. He says, Mijo, he said, if you want to get the pretty, he goes, if you ever want to get the pretty girl, learn how to dance. They love to dance. You will get the pretty girl if you dance. He told me, man, I'm telling you, that's it. So I love dancing. I love dancing, dude. So, you know, MC Hammer was in there. So hell yeah. You know, I had the big parachute pants, the whole nine. I'd love to be able to find some of those pictures back then, dude, from college. I thought it was crazy. Who's this jamoke? Dancing like MC Hammer. But let's get it started, baby. So that's the lineup. 9:30 at the bottom of the hour. We have Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now talking Bears football with us. And at 10 o'clock, we have my man David Kenyon from Bleacher Report talking NCAA Final Four action, women's and men's today. So I'm fired up, baby. Had a great workout this morning. We did squats. So I only did 305 today. I increased. It was like 185, 205, 2.25. No. 185, 225, 275. I did 305. Why I didn't do 315, I have no idea, but it didn't make sense. So for sets of 10, and I only thought we had 4 sets, but we had 5. And I was like, and I had already taken off the 25 or the 15s for the just whatever, taking off weight. And they're like, all right, one more round, last round. I'm like, last round? I'm like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, Papa. I am not doing another round. And I mentally had checked out already. Like that was my final set. But man, great workout this morning. I was fired up. I'm fired up now, man. I am fired up now. Oh, snap. Planks in this joint. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. Man. Front on the hammer, and you will be rewarded. What did he say? His body, and you know we get it done on the hammer, and you will be rewarded. I can't think of that the next line. So, oh, dude, you got me on that one, King Book. You got me on that one. I can't think of it right now. Well, listen, let's get it started, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go to the first top of the morning topic. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Here we go. Here we go. That's why I'm not wearing their hat today. The White Sox. White Sox get their ass whooped down in Kansas City 10-1. Lord have mercy. They got blown it out. Not blown out. Blown it. There's no word I just made up. They got blown it out. Man, got their ass kicked 10-1 by the Kansas City Royals. Soraka, he got the loss. He's 0-1. All right, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 punch outs. Vaughn, 2 for 4, driving in his second RBI of the season. Gavin Sheets was 2 for 2 with a double, his first. And Corey Lee, the catcher, he's been starting off the season rather nicely. He's 2 for 4. All right, with a double, his first of the season. But the White Sox today will face the Royals again. It's a 4-game set, so they started on Thursday. All right, they started yesterday, but they face the Royals again today. First pitch is 6:40 p.m. local time. You can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago or listen to it on their flagship 1000 AM 1000. All right, Eric Fetty goes for the White Sox. He's 0-0 with a 3.86 ERA. He's going up against Brady Singer, who's 1-0 with a 0.000 ERA. You know, the White Sox they're just bad. They're just bad. And I would think, okay, they got their first win. Let's go into KC and do some work. Man, KC just brought out the whooping sticks. Jay Grizz, we will not have this blasphemy on here. You hear me? Damn it! We will not have this blasphemy. No blasphemy here, Jay Grizz. You and my guy Junior would get along just fine. The next top of the morning topic. The Cubs welcome the Dodgers to the friendly confines for a 3-game set this weekend. First pitch today is at 1:40 p.m. Is that 1:40? I think I made a mistake. It might be 1:20. No, it is 1:20. See, I was looking at the thing from ESPN last night because I got I put the show together last night, and on ESPN, the app, it said 1:40. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. We got it. So first pitch today is at 1:20. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network, or if you want to listen to it, you can listen to their flagship station, 670 AM. Bobby Miller's on the bump for the Dodgers. He's 1-0 with a 0.00 ERA. He's going up against the professor, Kyle Hendricks, who's 0-1 with a 12.27 ERA. Ouch. But, he had one bad start. All right, so his ERA is going to be through the roof. To the roof. Tell your boyfriend not to be mad at me. I'm in a good mood, man. I am in a great, great mood. I'm telling you, I'm fired up today. What the hell is that? Okay, here we go. The next top of the morning topic. Where are we going? The Bulls. The Bulls host the New York Knicks at the United Center tonight. Tip-off is 7 p.m. You can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, or because the White Sox are on NBC Sports Chicago, or you can listen to them if you want on their flagship 670 AM. Now, the Bulls have 6 games left, and you know what? They play the Knicks 3 times. Not a good thing. The Bulls are trying to keep that 9th spot so they can host the first play-in game, probably against the Atlanta Falcons, against the Atlanta Hawks, who they're barely in front of right now. So it's going to be tough. Jalen Brunson, Chicagoland's very own. Remember, he went to Stevenson High School up in the North Shore. His dad was a coach for the Bulls during their title runs, right? He went to high school here. So he went to Villanova for college. Now he's a dude over in New York. New Yorkers be talking like this. Where my New Yorkers at? Used to call me Shawn. Shawn, what you doing over there? From New York, talking like this. Anyone else? Any other one? Nope. Next topic, morning topic. Oh, baby, the women's Final Four tonight. Game 1. North Carolina State. North Carolina State takes on number 1. Or number 3, North Carolina State takes on number 1, South Carolina. Woo, South Carolina, I'll tell you what. This is their second consecutive undefeated regular season. They won the national championship 2 years ago. They're looking to get back on top of the platform, the podium, and hoist that trophy. Dawn Staley is that dude. All right. But Isaiah James, you got something to say about it. NC State, they're making their first Final Four appearance. The women, they are, since 1998. 1998, the number. It's going to be tough. That is going to be tough. That game is at 6 o'clock tonight. That's game 1. All right, because the next top of the morning topic is this game 2. And that's the one I think everybody wants to see. Number 3, UConn versus number 1, Iowa. All right, there's a battle for the man. They got the top 2 women players in college basketball. You have Caitlin Clark from Iowa and UConn's Paige Beckers. Man. Now, mind you, the LSU Iowa game just set the record for the most people viewed, the most viewed games, all right, in women's basketball history. Okay, it had more viewers than the 2023 NBA Finals, the World Series, and every regular season college football game in 23 except the Ohio State and Michigan game. It was no joke. And this game might beat that one. All right, Caitlin Clark is going to the WNBA. She's out of eligibility, so is her last tournament, looking to win her only chip. All right, Dawn Staley's won one. UConn and Gino Auriemma, he's won $1 trillion. Iowa hasn't won one. Can they do it? I don't know. I don't think so. But I would love to see Iowa and South Carolina. I would love it. So those are games tonight. The championship game is Sunday, 2 o'clock. That's on ABC Channel 7 here in Chicago, or it's ABC nationwide. All right? Man, it's going to be a fun night. I ain't got nothing to do tonight. That's what I'm doing. Unless some of my guys want to meet up at a bar, and we'll go watch the game at a bar. But, man. Next up, I want to topic, the men's Final Four starts mañana. That game, first game 1 is at 5:09. That game's on TNT and TBS. Number 11, North Kakalaka State. NC State versus number 1, Purdue. This is the first time in NCAA history that 2 teams, that a school has both the men's and the women's basketball team in the Final Four. That's pretty dope. NC State and UConn. But game 1, 5:09, TBS and TNT. NC State versus number 1, Purdue. And then this is coming from Glendale, Arizona. As the women's game, 2 games are coming from the land, from Cleveland. The men are in Glendale. Today's men's Final Four game 2. I'm sorry, Saturday. Tomorrow's game 2 is at 7:49 p.m. local time. That also is on TNT and TBS. Number 1, UConn versus number 4, Alabama. All right. It looks, I know the networks want Purdue versus UConn. If you can get there, that'd be nice. Danny Hurley looking to become the first team, the first coach to repeat, win back-to-back titles since 2007. Billy Donovan and the Florida Gators with a very young-looking Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer. All right, Tito Horford, that squad. Yeah. So that's and reports that he called Billy Donovan to say, hey, how do you deal with this? All right, this hasn't been done in 20-something years. How do you deal with trying to win back-to-back NCAA titles? And, that's the guy to call. He was the last person to do it. So I think it's pretty good, pretty cool. The coach fraternity is awesome. Coaches love to, when you get to, he's a little younger than Billy. All right. I don't know by how much, but he's younger. But it's always good to seek information and to help and better your team. So I just wonder what he told, Danny Hurley, because those games are going to be dope this weekend. Man, today, the women's Final Four. Tomorrow, the men's Final Four. Sunday, the women's championship game. Monday, the men's championship game. Ooh, Charlie. It's going to be on one. All right, listen, guys. We got to take a break. All right. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome, for the first time, Shawn and Maya, Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now. Looking forward to talking to him because there's a lot to talk about in this Bears offseason. A lot to talk about. All right. So listen, do me a favor. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
On with one out. Breaking ball. This could be two. Shoemake tossed to second for one. Nicky Lowe better than that. Runner goes. A hit and run pounded to the left side. Garcia backhands the long throw. Not in time as it pulled Pasquantino off the bag. Benintendi bobbled that short by Witt, and everybody's safe.
He was thinking about two before he got one, and because of the way the defense was situated, there was very little chance of Lofton getting to the bag quickly enough, and so Witt was looking to make that toss. So two runners in scoring position. Sox down by a pair.
Andrew Vaughn has a chance to tie this game with a single. Vaughn goes the other way, and it'll get down. Moncada will score, and they're going to hold Sheets at third. So a one-out RBI single for Andrew.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago and Major League Baseball. Those are I can't even call them the good guys, man. You know, I said, you're coming off a win. At least go to KC. Put up a fight, man. Give me a fight. Man, it's a good thing they hired Pedro Grifol over Ozzie. But I digress. I digress. I'm telling you, I don't know how many games I'm going to go to. Maybe 4 this year, 3 or 4. I already went to 1 opening day. We lost 1-0. The game was 2 hours. That was nutso. But anyway, I'm fired up, baby. I'm fired up. I'm excited. Our first guest, man, you've seen him. Thousands and thousands of people have seen him. He's the host of Chicago Bears Now on Chat Sports. You can find him on Twitter. All right, at HGraham NFL. Guys, let's welcome to Shawn and Maya for the first time, Harrison Graham. Harrison, good morning, Papa. How are you? Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
I thought the White Sox season was over already.
It is. It is. They're just going through the motions. I don't even know what the hell's going on over there.
It's rough.
Oh,
it's rough sledding for the Southsiders, but I think the Cubbies give us some baseball to watch at least late into the season. At least get us to training camp, right, with some decent baseball. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, don't blaspheme with that other team. Don't do that. just get us to July and we're good, and then we can turn it off. Although I will say this, I do like Cody Bellinger a lot. I was a big fan of his, and when he came here, I was like, damn it, I got to root for him, not his team, but just for him. But I'm a big Cody Bellinger fan ever since he came in the league. I'm like, that dude is a baller, and yeah. So, but anyway, these Bears, the decision's been made. All right, I was a big pro Justin Fields guy. I took a lot of flack from a lot of trolls, and it was funny. They're like, we won. I'm like, what did you win? You had one opinion, I had another. But so they're getting a new quarterback. And from all intents and purposes, it seems like it's going to be Caleb Williams. As of now, reports have it that Caleb has only visited the Bears and that he only will visit the Bears. And if that's the case, they're the only team with his medicals. Give me your thoughts on the likelihood of them drafting Caleb and how you feel about them drafting this kid who some people label as generational, other people label not so much, but the talent is definitely undeniable.
Yeah, let me just first say, Shawn, that the whole I was right, you were wrong thing about the QB debate, I never understood. I was a big Fields guy for a while. I came to the conclusion, and I still am, by the way, I just came to the conclusion that going Caleb Williams, I think, was smart for this franchise. People have laid out what those reasons are. But the victory lap stuff on either side, it was just a little ridiculous. But, yeah, I mean, look, I think regardless of who the quarterback they were to bring in here, which I do think it's going to be Caleb Williams, I think the most important thing, Shawn, is that they have set this next quarterback up to be successful, at least on paper. You've got two legitimate number one receivers in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Even if Allen's only here 1 year, that really helps a rookie quarterback get off the ground and running. You've got a tight end friendly room with Cole Kmet and also Gerald Everett, who I like that pickup in free agency. DeAndre Swift, one of the better pass catching running backs. Like, you're going to be able to run the football. The defense is good. So, you know, I've said this a million times on other shows, on my show. Does it suck that Justin Fields, you know, the timing never really lined up to get the fair shake? Yeah, it does. But you can't go back and change it. I mean, it's done with. You know, Ryan Poles had to clean up Pace's mess with those bad contracts. And by the time he did, well, the number one pick fell into his lap again. And here's Caleb Williams ready to go. So I'm excited for it. I think he's got as good of a shot as any quarterback that's ever come in here to succeed. We're starving for it. Never had a 4,000-yard passer, never had a quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns, the only franchise in the NFL to not have at least one of those two things. I think this guy has a really good chance of doing it, if not as a rookie, pretty early in his career.
Well, yeah, they set him up, and I think that's great. You know, you mentioned the setup. I mean, this is probably the best setup, all right, that a number one overall pick, a quarterback, is going to step into. Here, you guys see, and to me, listen, the most important thing for me, Harrison, and because I played football at a high level, I coached for a long time. People don't understand how important coaching is. Coaching matters. And you got a guy who can, you know, just look at Getsy. Why are you throwing a wide receiver screen 3 times inside your, you know, backed up against the goal line? Like that's just horrible. But look at what he's got, whoever the quarterback is, assuming most likely Justin Fields. He got a great play caller in Shane Waldron. Okay, he's got an upgraded running back in DeAndre Swift. Keenan Allen, 1,200 yards. DJ Moore, 1,300 yards. Cole Kmet, one of the top 10 tight ends, maybe even 7 tight ends in the NFL. How excited are you for this team? But where do you think this team can go? Because we had 7 wins last year, and with a couple decent play calls, not having Darnell Mooney block a defensive end to, you know, spring, we could have had 8, 9, or maybe even 10 wins. How do you see this year going, even with the quarterback, because of all of the talent that this guy's got around him?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's it's hard to know for sure how quick it's going to click with any rookie quarterback in any situation. I mean, is he going to come in here and be CJ Stroud and be a top 10 QB in this league from jump? I think we're hoping, but I don't know if it's fair to have that expectation. I do think there's enough around him where he doesn't feel like he needs to force the issue, which he definitely had to do at USC due to bad defense and struggling offensive line play and a million other things last year. But look, I don't think we should put low ceilings on this team. Now, am I going to sit here and say this team should be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl? Probably not. But after San Francisco and Detroit and maybe a couple others, I think Chicago on paper is right there in that second tier of the NFC. Like you said, they had a 91% chance or higher in 3 of the 10 losses they had last year. Cleveland was 91.9% chance of winning at one point. And then the first Detroit game and the Denver game were both over 99% chance at one point in the fourth quarter of winning. I mean, those are colossal collapses. So if you just win 2 of those last year, you might sneak into the playoffs. And the team on paper, forget the quarterback, is simply better than it was last year. You didn't lose anybody notable. You brought back Jalen Johnson. You add Swift. You add Keenan Allen. You got the number 9 overall pick as well. So, look, I have playoff aspirations. Maybe that's a lot to ask out of a rookie. I'm not saying it's a failure if they don't get there, but the schedule's manageable too. If you just look at the opponents, we don't know the week by week yet, but yeah, I mean, I would be disappointed if this team wasn't at least a 9-win team. I think the floor should be 7 again, and the ceiling is probably 11 or 12. Come somewhere in the middle, 9-10 wins, be a wild card team. That's kind of where I think this thing is. As long as Caleb comes in here and is, average, like be average as a rookie or better, I think this team has enough around him to be a playoff team.
I think that's a great point. That's a great point. Guys, we're joined by Harrison Graham, the host of Chicago Bears Now on Chat Sports, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, they got to get 10 wins for me. 9 minimum. All right. You upgraded the defense. All right. You traded out Eddie Jackson for another all-pro. You still got Sweat. I think Javon Dexter is going to have a breakout year. I think with Coach Washington as a new D-line coach, I think Javon Dexter is going to have a breakout year. I think Zach Pickens is going to take a big step forward. Billings is already a monster in the middle. Excuse me, and we know what the sweat effect does, and I think it's also going to help DeMarcus Walker as well. So I think this defense, Tyreek Stevenson is going to get better. These guys this defense is, to me, playoff ready. If you get another stud defensive end, I think they're Super Bowl ready. All right, the offense, on the other hand, is another story. So that's why I'm saying 9 to 10 wins minimum. All right. Talk to me about the offensive line. Are you happy with what they did? All right. Getting a center. I know it's only a 1-year deal, but he was a starting center for the Rams. All right. Do you go get a center later? Are you happy with it? They also added backups, the depth on the offensive line. How do you like what they did with the O-line?
I like the center situation better. I don't think it's a long-term solution. And by the way, it seems to be unclear still if it's going to be Bates or Shelton starting. I would roll with Shelton. He's got more experience, but I think that could be a competition there. We'll see. But I do think regardless, that combination is better than the Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair combination.
Yeah, it is.
Is it awesome? Probably not. But is it adequate, at least for this year? I think it is. I'm still open to drafting a center at some point in this draft. Obviously, you have limited picks right now, but if there's someone in the 3rd or 4th round that maybe you treat 2024 as a redshirt year and they have a chance to start in 2025, I'm open to that. There's some guys in the middle rounds of this draft, like a Cedric Van Pran, that could be there as a possible option in that range. I don't think they'll be in a Jackson Powers Johnson, situation. Just because they don't have picks in that range. I don't think if they trade down from 9, that would be the pick. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, I think the offensive line, I would say it's adequate to potentially being good. I think Nate Davis is a wild card. He had a lot going on last year. He had the family death situation. I thought he started to play pretty well. Then he got rolled up on and didn't play as well after that ankle injury. So just a lot there. I think with the smoother offseason, hopefully for him, like he can get back to at least being a good player. I don't think he's going to come in here and be an all-pro or anything. We know Tevin's a really good player when healthy. I think the Bates move is good for that reason because he can play guard and center, and we know Tevin's probably going to miss some games. So he can slide in there and at least be adequate, be better than Cody Whitehair. I think the big question, Shawn, is left tackle. Do they roll with Braxton? Do they pick someone at 9? We'll see. I think Braxton is a slightly above average guard or tackle. I think he's a starter, like Ryan Poles said. But I go back to that quote when he was asked about Braxton. I think it was in February. And he said, yeah, he's a starter in this league. And then he added some other stuff. And it kind of told me, like, well, if they feel like there's a clear upgrade that they really like, I don't think they're going to close the book on that. So kind of a long-winded answer of, I think the O-line is at least adequate to above average. I don't think it's fully there yet, though, but it's definitely better than what it's been.
Yeah, you know what? For Braxton, you must have been listening to me, dude. I've been saying the whole time, like, I think Braxton's ceiling is an above average left tackle.
Yeah.
All right. He's not a gold jacket guy, not an all pro guy, not a Pro Bowl guy, just an above average left tackle. And that's not a bad thing.
No, you found him.
It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, for where you got him. So I think it's good. But if there is an upgrade, yeah, then you may have to take it. So let's talk about the number 9 pick. All right. What do you do there? It can fall a whole bunch of different ways. All right, now that JJ McCarthy is most likely to be jumping up into that top 5. All right. And then you obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be gone. Malik Neighbors will most likely be gone. They're pushing people down. Okay. Alt or Olu might be at 9, but then again, so might Romeo Dunze. What do you do at 9?
I've come to the conclusion, and maybe this will change in the next 20 days before draft, round 1 of the draft. But if one of the top 3 receivers is there, I'm taking them. And again, I think you're right. I think MHJ and Neighbors are likely gone. But if a Dunze's there, I'm taking them. If not, and Alt's there, I'm taking Alt. If they're both somehow gone, and there's a scenario where they are, it could go 4 quarterbacks, 3 receivers, and Alt is the first 8 picks. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I'd be surprised if one of Alt or the receivers didn't get there, but if you play the math out that way, it is possible. If they're both gone, that's when I get more intrigued by the trade down scenario. I don't think a 4th receiver is worthy taken in the top 10. I like Olu, but I don't think he's number 9 worthy to me. Like, I think you could trade down a few spots, like say Denver at 12 wants to come up and take the 5th quarterback or something like that. You could get him at 12 potentially. I like Fuaga out of Oregon State. My only question there is, can he play left tackle? Because you have Darnell Wright on the right side. Do you want to move him to left tackle? That's a question. I actually do like his tape better than Olu's, but it's a positional question for me. So, again, like, if one of the receivers is there, take him. If not, and Alt is there, take him. If they're both gone, I'm probably looking to trade down because I like the other tackles. I like the edges, but I feel like I can move down a few spots and still get one of those players and add another pick. So, it really just kind of comes down to how the board falls.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I mean, because I say about a week and a half ago, like, that's when JJ McCarthy really had a lot of momentum of getting back into that top 5. So, and that pushes everybody else down. That pushes everybody down a spot. And, no edge, huh? No Dallas Turner.
I would not be upset if they took an edge at 9. I just feel like with Turner, Latu, Verse, and if you want to throw Chop Robinson in there, you could trade down and get one of those guys still. And I don't think there's huge gaps between any of them. I think Turner's got the most upside, but I also think he fits better in a 3-4. So I'm kind of like, okay, like, I like the player.
I do too.
He can play in this scheme, but I mean, if you tell me Turner at 9 or Verse at 13, plus I get an extra pick, I'd probably just do Verse at 13 and the extra pick. Like, I just don't think the gaps are there. Whereas a Dunze to Brian Thomas, I do think there's a gap there. So, like, again, if a Dunze's there, I would just take him. But, you hear Poles and Eberflus talk about these blue players, these blue chip players. So I think they're going to have these tiers of players. And if there's 1 or 2 blue chippers left, they'll take them. If there's 3 or more left, or there's none left, then they could be open to trade down a few spots to still get one of those last blue chippers. Or if they're somehow all gone, then they'll, they'd be willing to move down and get into that red chip category and get some extra capital.
Guys, we're on with Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now on Chat Sports for another moment or so, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I want a receiver, and here's why. This receiver class is deep. All right. Next year's class is deep in edge rushers. I'm okay with DeMarcus Walker, on that edge. All right. He's not bad. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not a gold jacket guy, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think with again, Coach Washington, again, coaching matters. With Coach Washington, I think we're going to get a bump in play from everybody on that offensive line. And it's going to be more noticeable in the rookies, but it'll definitely be noticeable for someone like DeMarcus Walker, which if you see it, man, having another guy, a decent guy on the opposite side of Sweat is awesome. Awesome. Last question before we let you go, buddy. I appreciate your time today. Eberflus is calling the plays. How long do you think this lasts until he hands those play calling duties over to Coach Washington?
Oh, it's a good question. I'll say this. To justify bringing Flus back, I think you almost had to force him to keep calling the plays, at least for next year, because that's really the only thing he did pretty consistently well last year was call the defense. So I thought if they were going to bring him back and not have him call the plays, I'm like, well, why didn't you just change coaches then? But, you know, I think he's at least this year. Like, I think you've got to establish yourself as a playoff team before handing that off, because he's just not established enough yet as the head coach. So, like, if I'm keeping Matt Eberflus, I gotta, what's the phrase with the towel? I gotta wring out every last possible drip out of him and get the most value out of him until he's proven that he can be that high-level CEO, because I don't think he's there yet. I just don't.
Well, he's a rookie, it's a rookie head coach, and people got mad at him like, oh, he made a mistake. Oh, he did. He's so stupid. Like, he's a rookie head coach.
Yeah.
Like, rookies, the first time you start your job, you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how much you watch someone or you're right next to the dude making the decisions. Being next to the dude making decisions is not being the dude making the decisions. And everyone goes through growing pains. So people really got on him a little bit, especially year one. But like, man, dude, give us some slack because a rookie head coach.
Yeah, so I think if this year goes really well, I could see him handing it off next year, being like, all right, we're established as a team. Poles has rebuilt this roster. We've made the playoffs now. Eric's going to take over the play calling in 25. So I could see that being the case, but I don't think it happens at any point this season. The only way it happens this year is if it's just a disaster. It's like a Nagy situation where he had to give the play calling to Bill Lazor because it was just so bad. But I don't see how that happens, because we saw the last 2 months of last season, the Sweat effect, which you mentioned earlier. Like, this defense was an undisputed top 10 and really a top 5 unit the last 2 months of the year. So I think that side of the ball is going to be good. I think Flus's play calling was a big reason for that. So yeah, I think he'll call plays at least for another full season.
You think so? Okay, I'm thinking maybe midway. That's what I was thinking, maybe midway. So we'll see. I have no problem with it,
but we'll see.
And I'm okay with it because he's called. You know what I mean? He's called defensive plays already before, and I think maybe he wants him to get comfortable. This is my thought. Him get comfortable to the players, know what they can and can't do. Watching them on film is one thing, but seeing them up front and working with them and seeing what you can get out of them when you're there is a whole nother thing. So that's why I'm thinking maybe after midway through the season. If it's all year, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Last question before we let you go: is Flus on a hot seat this year? He had to take the bullet for, Ryan Poles had to take the bullet for destroying that defense or getting rid of that defense. Last year, he was starting to build up the offense, the defense, adding pieces. Now he can truly, all right, evaluate Eberflus. Is he on a hot seat this year?
I don't think the seat's hot right now, and here's why. I think they do not want to make the same mistakes of the prior regimes of draft a quarterback and then change head coaches 1 year in. So, and which, by the way, which is why I was on team change head coaches, because I felt like they were going to change quarterbacks. So why not just get everything aligned? But if you're going to keep the coach, I think you almost have to give it at least 2 years, because you just don't want to create chaos and bring in a new coach. And the new coach, maybe he doesn't like Caleb Williams. He wants his own guy. Then you're just running into the same cycle we've done with Mitch and with Justin. So I think it would have to go really bad this year for him to get fired. Like, it would have to be probably worse than last year, honestly, in terms of wins and losses. So you could say it's mild. I'll say this. He can't start 0-4 again.
Yeah, okay.
He can't come out of the gates like that. But I think the I don't want to use the word lazy, but I think the kind of just not looking at this close opinion might say, like, you'll probably see sports books have Matt Eberflus as first coach to get fired in 2024 pretty high up there. I actually don't think he's as high up there as people probably think. I think they're, keeping him and going with the new quarterback, they're kind of signaling like, hey, we think he's the guy for the long term. So things can change in a hurry in this league, as you know, but I would say it's cool to mild, but I don't think it's hot right now.
Harrison, great stuff, Papa, man. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor before you go, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, at HGram NFL, Twitter, X, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days. At Bears Now by Chat Sports on YouTube. You can find my video work over there. So appreciate it, man, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Cool. I will be in touch, man. I have another show that I do as well. It's all Bears content. This is all Chicago sports, but the other show I do is all Bears content. I'll reach out to you and see if we can get you on that one. All right.
Cool. Sounds good.
Cool, man. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
All right. Take care.
All right, now. Guys, that's Harrison Grant from Chicago Bears Now. Great stuff. I appreciate it, man. Good stuff. And he was a Justin Fields guy too. He was a Justin Fields guy as well. And okay. But you know what? We got to turn the page. It's, living in the past. What did Coach Ditka say? Living in the past is for losers. And you're right. There's nothing you can do about it. So what? We're going to support this team. I'm looking forward to who the quarterback is. Because let's get this straight. Let's get it straight for the record, for all the the Caleb cult. It was never, ever about the talent. I never questioned his talent. It was never about that. So when people are saying, well, look what he does this, he's got same flaws as a lot of the same flaws as Justin Fields did. Okay. He's got a lot. He's got to be in structure. He needs a coach who can kind of get him in structure, get him in path, and then let him, step outside those boundaries here and there, here and again, until you prove yourself. And once he does, then you can kind of go in and out of those boundaries. All right. Like a Patrick Mahomes. All right. He wasn't as crazy as he, his first year or two as he is now. I don't mean crazy in a bad way. I just mean, free thinking. All right. I think you let Caleb kind of keep him corralled a little bit. All right, till he gets the confidence, till he understands, catches the speed of the game, understand, because it's different. We saw Justin Fields ran at 4.5. He ran away from everybody. Okay, but the speed of the game, he talked about it. He goes, "Oh, it's not that bad," and all of a sudden, like, "Oh, it's not that fast." Okay, he's got to get adjusted. Okay, he's got to get adjusted. It's never the talent. The talent's there. Is he going to be a leader? That's my issue. Is he going to be a leader of men? That is the issue. And he's got to overcome the fact that, this locker room, for the most part, was pro Justin. So if I were him, all right, I know it's gonna be difficult with his $10 million, $11 million NIL money, but listen, homie, you ain't done spit in the National Football League. No one gives a damn how much you make in NIL. Coming in here, what's your signing bonuses? Oh, we need you to win. So if I were him, I personally just keep your head down. All right, leave that Hollywood shit, like Jalen Johnson said. Don't bring that shit in the locker room. All right, be humble. All right, work hard. All right, build a rapport and win games. You're in a great situation, phenomenal situation. All right. You're in a phenomenal situation. You have the best situation that a number one overall pick has probably ever stepped into. Use it. Use it. You got good coaches. You got Shane Waldron. Let's use it. I'm fired up, man. This kid can be good. This team can be good. This team can be good. But it's about how you approach it. Don't come in here trying to ruffle waves. You got a veteran squad here. This is the thing. You're not going to Houston where you got a whole bunch of young kids. You got a veteran squad here. All right. You got a Jalen Johnson just signed. All right. 50-year player. All right. You got Kyler Gordon, 3rd-year player. All right. Jaquan Brisker, 3rd-year player. Tevin Jenkins, 4th year. You got veterans in this locker room. Don't come in here all big, bold, and brass and stuff, because someone might old and recruit your ass. Okay. Granted, there'll be some consequences to pay because he's number one quarterback, but ain't no one got your back yet, Papa. Just remember that. Come in here, stay humble, keep your head down, get to work, earn their trust. That's all I'm saying. Earn their trust. All right, listen, let me get out of here. We got to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, man, we're going to talk some NCAA hoops, and I am fired the freak up. Woo! Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll be back at you Monday talking about the men's national championship game. But I'm fired up to talk to my guy David Kenyon on the other side. So don't go anywhere, folks. Let's keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down to the field. And Calvary. Still running. Made one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
How long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Like when RG3 comes out, you heard it. Yeah. Okay. Don't you think like your particular Bears feels different than maybe the previous Bears? Like that's how we feel outside looking in. It's like, hey, this is a brand new building almost. Does it feel like that in there? And obviously you weren't there beforehand, but does it feel like you and Eberflus's culture is because at the end of the last season, it feels like, okay, the culture is kind of settling in, team settling in. You guys feel that obviously?
Yeah, it pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you, because we were hired to break a cycle. The same thing when I was in Kansas City. Coach Reed, all of us were brought there to break a cycle, and we did. And no one talks about those days anymore. It's all about what they are right now. So I really believe we're about to break this cycle and get this city in a really good situation and win a lot of games. So the past is the past. Like I don't worry about that at all. It's about where we're going.
Okay. Well, a lot of people had a similar reaction to you.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was Bears General Manager Ryan Poles on the Pat McAfee Show, the video courtesy of ESPN of ESPN. Yeah, it said it pissed him off, and I get it. Wow. Now we just got to wait, huh? We just got to wait. What, 3 weeks? 3 weeks from yesterday, I think it is. So, okay, let's get it done. In the meantime, while we're waiting, we have some phenomenal stuff today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and I am fired up to watch this. My next guest is a good friend of the program. He's been rocking with me for a while, for a minute now. All right, he's head honcho. Did you own that thing yet? I'm just checking this. I'm not sure. He's a national college basketball writer for Bleacher Report. You can find him on Twitter at Kenyon19_BR. Let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, David Kenyon. David, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Good morning, Shawn. A beautifully bad day out here in Chicago area, but I am excited to get out of Midway tonight and go to the land of 65 at least after a crap week here and see some great basketball.
You know what? I'm fired up, man. I'm excited. We'll start with the ladies. The games, those Final Four games take place tonight. I am so fired up. You got number 3, NC State taking on number 1, South Kakalaka, and Dawn Staley and that whole crew, second consecutive undefeated regular season. She's the truth. Talk to me how you see that game going does NC State have a chance?
Of course they do. I mean, they're here, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, South Carolina has just been so overwhelming all season, and I think the best part of this is we're getting to see so many of the absolute best players that we've seen all season long make it this far, which doesn't always happen. Obviously, 64 team tournament, it's going to happen that way. But to see South Carolina on this stage and have this shot at getting a perfect season, it's just the best thing the women's game could ask for, where you have on the other side the game we'll talk about with two massive stars, and on the other side, pursuit of an undefeated year, which I know has happened several times, especially in the last couple decades, but that's awesome. So very excited to see that tonight. I think South Carolina's post presence is just going to be too much for NC State.
I hope so too. I've been a big Dawn Staley fan, dude. I mean, she's right around my age, and I remember her, dude. I remember her, growing up in Philly with Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball, and being like one of the only girls who could play on the court with the dudes. I remember the lore. It's kind of like Cappy Poindexter here in Chicago, and she was a bad girl over in Virginia. And when she started coaching, she brought that attitude with her, and I like it, And I think that's what good players like. You like to be coached hard. She's very old. The new touch of new school in her, and I would love to see her do that. Where would that put her? I mean, she already has one natty with a 2 years ago, but now if she does it this year, a regular undefeated season, it's their fourth Final Four in a row. Okay, it's not like she missed it and she came back. No, she's been here the whole time, and the record I said it the other day, it was like 173 in the last 3 seasons, like last 4 seasons. It's been insane. Where would that put her in the annals of women's basketball? And she's still only like 50. It's not like she's retired anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I have a wonderful knowledge of the history of women's college basketball, so I can't say like, top 5, top 10. But I'm telling you, you look at her record, like you said, in the last 5 years, you've got 1 loss, 5 loss, 2 losses, 1 loss, and 0. I mean, like, that is one of the single most absurd 5-year runs in the history of the game, short of UConn, obviously, especially about 15 years ago. You've got some Pat Summitt years in there, maybe a couple others that we could talk about. But this is simply one of the greatest 5-year runs the sport has ever seen. And then to get a second championship, like you said, 4th straight Final Four, they're incredible. I mean, Camila Cardoso is just one of the absolute beasts of the sport right now. And I'm really excited to see this game tonight. And then hopefully, just from the history perspective, it's South Carolina moving on. Obviously, NC State totally deserves to be here. But just to see this team, this stage, this coach, and then to have a chance at that undefeated season against UConn or Iowa.
Yeah, I think I like it because you mentioned it, but all the big stars are showing up. All right. And that's the thing that people want to see. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. And damned if Caitlin Clark said, I'm a big time player.
Yeah.
Watch me, damn it. Watch me. All right. But then you still got all the players on Cardoso over in South Carolina. You had Angel Reese back in with LSU. You have Paige over here at UConn, and then Isaiah, how do you pronounce her name? I can't remember. The young girl from NC State. I mean, these are the stars, and this is what people want to see. This is the star power. Talk about the state of women's college basketball now and where you think it's going.
Well, I think the most important thing is the ability to watch all these games now is just so much easier. That's come with technology over time. It's come with the appeal of
Oh, David, we got you frozen. Uh-oh. The hotel Wi-Fi is not doing you good. Hold on. Let me know when you. I'll see you when if you're able to move, because right now we have you frozen. Yeah, David, he'll reconnect. Yeah, he just froze. But I'm really liking. I'm liking this. I told you I am more excited about the women's Final Four than I am the men's. It's because of the stars. This is where you shine. This is where you make your name. This is where the lore comes from. This is where the stories come from 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. You remember the 2000, remember the 24 Final Four, and she did this, and she did that, and she did this, and this person did that. You know, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see this. And I have some deep dish pizza, some frozen deep dish pizza from Pizzeria Uno in the freezer. But I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to just order a pizza. I want to just order a pizza. Because that'd be dope. I'm gonna be not really doing much. Hold on, yeah. Just seeing how he's doing. I'm gonna order a pizza, and man, it's on. Unless I meet up with some of my guys, and we go watch it at a bar, then I'll eat there. But I want to see these games tonight. I really do. And the thing that you don't have in the women's game, the high flying dunks and the big time block shots and the all the athleticism, you make up for it with fundamental baseball or basketball. You make up with it there. You make up with great passing. I mean, everyone looks at Caitlin Clark and like, dude, she dropped 42. She had 12 dimes. It's not like she's just a scorer, like she's a black hole. All right, give me the ball and I'm going to score. I'm going to shoot. She had 12 assists. So the fundamentals for me are awesome. I love it. They're awesome. All right. Yeah, you're not getting the dunks. You're not getting the, again, the athleticism. But man, you're getting some really, really solid, I don't want to say solid, excellent basketball. Jay Grizz. I keep the frozen Uno pizza on deck too. I get it. Hey, we got him back. Let's see. No, hold on. He should come up. There he is. He's back. We good, David?
I think we're going to work anymore. So we're going to see if it works.
All right, you started off like a robot, but now you sounded good. Yeah, these laser lights out. Yeah, I just kept talking about it because I'm fired up, dude. I think I'm gonna go get some. I have some frozen pizza. Yeah, he'll try again. There we go. There we go. So, are you here in Chicago now? You said.
Well, so I'll leave here from and then I'll head up to Chicago and fly out, and then looking forward to getting there tomorrow. Hopefully, I can catch some of the women's games in the airport tonight, and then get right to it tomorrow. Get a couple of good men's games in.
Okay, so you're heading down to Arizona. That's right. Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. I just came back from Arizona. Good. One of my buddies from high school is out there. I was out there a couple weeks ago. And let's talk about the next game. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, two studs, man. They played against each other since junior high. Talk to me about that game, man. That game is going to be another one. I mean, you got the Iowa Hawkeyes trying to win their first title is it their first title overall? And Caitlin Clark to kind of cement her legacy as one of the best. She'll be one, but you kind of got to have a championship, to go with the Rebecca Lobos, Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Swoops, like all those ladies, I should say, against the powerhouse UConn. How do you like that game, and how do you see that playing out?
I think kind of has just from an overall standpoint. I think it was easily lost because absolute greatness is Iowa has a lot of good players around her who fill roles extremely well. I mean, anybody who's played any team sport ever understands that, yeah, you can have one awesome player, but in basketball, if you don't also have a three-point shooter who's lights out and another quality three-point shooter, and then somebody who will get you rebounds and somebody who can play defense at a really high level all around, they're not going to be here. That's why this Iowa team is so special too. It's not just Clark. UConn's teams, they're always going to have the best of the best of the best talent. But Iowa has so much supporting cast for Clark this year that she absolutely does not have to do it on her own. It's just that she also might go in 12. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. But so I do think UConn wins, but who's to say Clark doesn't hit 12 3 and a couple others who hit 3? Like, that's totally doable. I would win that all season. So I do think UConn wins, but as far as I wanted Clark get one on the way, yes, because that just solidifies the absolute greatness that is already unquestioned, but it just did that, and she went out with a championship. What does that do it?
You know, yeah, it does solidify her, and it puts her in. You know, I wouldn't call her the greatest women's college basketball player. She's one of the greatest. I'll put her in that category. You know, you don't lead the women's NCAA, you know, in scoring, and you can't and not be put in that conversation. But it's not just that she's leading in scoring. Like, dude, she's pulling up on the logo. Like, she's like Dame time. She's like, nah, homie, it's my time. Oh, you better, you're not guarding me, and I just crossed half court. All right, splash. And as a defender, you're just like, but coach, and the coach like, get on her. I'm like, coach, you just crossed half court. She's like, I know, get on her. You know, I'm surprised. I honestly am surprised, David. They don't pick her up like three-quarter court. I'm surprised they don't pick her up three-quarter court or trap her, get the ball out of her hands, because you just can't give her the ball, let it come across court, half court, because she's a phenomenal passer, as the 12 dimes indicates.
He's so much better. If you people float right by you, but like this year, just she had games with 12. She averages 9-6. So she'll take you off the door, and then one of those shots that they have. But also, if she gets to the post, you have to collapse on her. She just hits a like she's ridiculous. I said word. I think the other thing I just overlooked with Clark too is, you know, she's really become this national name, particularly in the last 2 years. But
hey, David, we're getting you. We're going back and forth. We're not getting. Oh, it just dropped. Damn. God, I want to get him on. I really want to hear what he's got to say, because this game, man. But to continue on with Caitlin Clark, dude, I love her game. I love her relentlessness. I do, you know, and how many of you guys are actually excited about watching the women's Final Four? I'm not asking if you're more excited than the men's or not. No. All right, are you just excited about watching the women? Because, man, this is, as I was telling David, dude, star power is here. A lot of the names you heard from last year are back and doing the thing in the Final Four. Iowa, South Kakalaka. I would have loved for for LSU to get back, but they met in the Elite Eight, and that's let's see if he's back. David, there you go. Excuse me. So let's switch gears and talk a little bit about the other Final Four, the men's. So this is the first time ever in the history of the tournament that two schools have both their men's and their women's team in the Final Four. UConn, well, we know UConn's won both men and women's title. And then NC State. Remember, NC State won 1983, I want to say. Derek Wittenberg to Lorenzo Charles over Hakeem Olajuwon and Phi Slama Jama. You probably weren't born yet back then. But I remember watching it as a kid And that was pretty much you for Thurl Bailey. That was pretty much NC State's really their only title, if I'm not mistaken. But now they're both men's and women's. How cool is that to have both, for UConn and NC State to have both men's and women's team in the Final Four?
First of all, incredible. Sidebar. Sean's guest brought to you by Skynet. That's what it feels like right now. And I'm sorry, because this is ridiculous. But so NC State having that men's and women's is simply one of the coolest things that I can only imagine as a college student. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Because if you only support one, I mean, you probably support all of them. But I mean, now there's two, like which one you go to. I mean, because not even close. You're in the land or you're in AZ. Like, the better. Which one do you go to? I don't want to go to Cleveland, but I want to support the girls. I'd rather go to Arizona at this time, but I want to support. It's tough. It's tough. It is tough, man.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And one thing that I think we should point out too is, as we're talking about this, the rare chance at the double. This actually just happened in one of the lower divisions. Minnesota State, Mankato, they won the men's and women's titles. So that's so
wow.
cool. And so NC State's going to have that opportunity. I think one of the funny things was, as the men's and women's teams both won, I think their baseball team hit a grand slam, not necessarily a walk-off, but a grand slam to win or something like that. It was so cool. So NC State just had a night of absolute sports madness.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
No, so I'm excited to see them. It's a heck of a run, man. 10 seed in the ACC tournament. Don't have a shot at all to make the tournament as an at-large. Have to win it. They win 5-5. And they felt like early enough, they had a good matchup with Texas Tech. I had them win that game, right? Oh, big whoop. They won one game. And then Oakland beats Kentucky in that first one. It's like, oh, NC State's probably going to the Sweet 16. Oh, but it's Marquette. And then Marquette couldn't hit Ocean if it fell out of a boat, right? Like, that was just a miserable day. And NC State just goes and takes it. And then, oh my goodness, what a run, man. What a run.
It's all about timing. Everything's about timing. They worked out perfect. They're in the right bracket. Okay, the right upsets, the matchup. And I'm not false. I'm not shitting on them by any stretch. I mean, it just worked out that way for them. And you know what? More power to them, because you still got to take advantage of that. You still got to take advantage of the fact that Kentucky's out. Okay, so hats off to them for playing the cards they were dealt. Because had they lost, they're like, oh man, you should have. Everyone goes crazy because you should have been there. You had an easy path. Now I don't even know how you got in, and everyone starts going crazy. But you know what? They took, and they played the hand they were dealt. Now they're in the Final Four. Let's talk about the second game. All right, Purdue. Purdue is favored. Zach Edey is that dude. They're going up against NC State. Does he eat all day tomorrow? Or because that dude just looks, first of all, he's like 7'12". All right. And he looks like his shoulders like a square. And he just hook, underhook, dunk. I mean, all the things that you want. He looks like a kid, like a 16-year-old playing against his 8-year-old cousin most times. Does Purdue get to the chip? They get there?
I do think so. NC State's depth has been a concern all year. I mean, that's why they were what they were. And I think Purdue's backcourt is going to be okay to just handle whatever NC State can throw at them. DJ Horn's a quality guard for NC State, but I think ultimately Purdue's backcourt is the difference, because Edey, even if DJ Burns kind of slides around him a little bit, crafty finisher, that big guy. If they can do that, NC State's going to have a chance. But if Edey just dominates down low, I don't see how NC State's going to keep up. They shoot okay, but they don't shoot well enough that if Purdue is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, that I don't think that's going to happen. But also, we've been talking about NC State like this for the better part of a month, right? That Yeah, well, they're not going to get past Duke in the ACC tournament. Well, they're not going to beat North Carolina. Well, they did. They're not going to get past Duke again. They're not going to get past Marquette. Well, they did. So obviously, it goes without saying, right, that don't count NC State out here. But I do think this is where it ends and Purdue wins.
This is cool. Like I can't remember. Maybe last year was the start of it. Where do you think women's basketball is going? Because I still love the men. Don't get me wrong. I love the athleticism. I love the teamwork. I love the the high flying stuff. That to me, that's awesome. I love it. And just to see athletes dunk, hitting crazy threes. But now we're seeing that in the women's game. I know we were talking men, but with the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses and all these girls, where do you see this going with the women? Because I think they're getting here. Because like I said, I'm more excited about the women's Final Four than the men, and I'm excited about the men's.
I think it has such a long way to go to catch from a national perspective, but I think you absolutely see there are people who are more invested in the women's game, which ultimately is just a good thing because you're going to have a lot more younger kids getting involved in the sport too. Period. Like that is the greatest benefit of this is you're going to have kids who grow up interested in basketball. And particularly now with the rise of the women's game, you're going to have more young girls interested in basketball. And it's not like it was a dying sport by any means, but it absolutely is going to increase the popularity. And so that's the biggest thing is because we don't have to really talk about, oh, we're excited for the Final Four on the men's side. Of course we are. We always have been. And so now we get that on the women's side, and it's just going to inspire our next generation. That's how it always happens with every sport you've seen. I mean, soccer in this country has been one of the biggest things too, is like once the U.S. hosts a World Cup as they did in the last couple of decades with the women's side, the women's game exploded. And so then in a couple of years, the men's World Cup is going to be played here and you're going to see an explosion of interest in soccer. And so that's what I think the biggest difference is for the women's game right now is you're just seeing this build up of, yeah, I want to watch this. I'm excited by this. And so that's the really cool part. But the men's side, I mean, it's just going to have so many more eyeballs for such a long time because it's such a high standard that has been set of the interest and the money, of course. I mean, it's $1 billion. It's a $1 billion tournament.
Literally. CBS paid for that, dude. That's insane. But I love it because that means the more girls you get involved early, all right, you're going to, and the way the world is, you got a lot more personal coaches and private coaches and AAU teams and things like that. It's going to make a better product in college, and then you're going to get the NIL money. You can maybe start building super teams, but also you're going to start, it's going to make its way up into the WNBA. And that's what I hope it does. I hope it really makes it into WNBA. So WNBA, not that I expect them to get the contracts like the men. It's not going to happen. It's just, but I mean, to get to the point where you can make a living and not have to go play overseas like most of the stars do. What was it? 75,000 is in Ice Cube offered Caitlin $5 million. Like I think that's 75,000. Like that's like a game check for like LeBron or Kevin Durant. That's a game check for these guys. And so, but I think women's sports needs to be paid attention to more. But they got to go. But here's a great start. So I'm loving it. I can't wait. This weekend is going to be all college basketball for me. Going back to the men's side, Danny Hurley looking to become the first dude since Chicago Bulls' very own Billy the Kid. All right. What if he does repeat? Where does that put him? I mean, he's just, he doesn't have a very long, impressive coaching resume. Where does that put him getting to, back-to-back national championship? Not out of a pretty decent conference.
Yeah, I think it's way too early as far as he's going to be super high up in the history of college basketball, right? I mean, just pull up his record, 290 and 163. This is his 6th time in the NCAA tournament. His second Final Four would be his second championship. He immediately becomes a part of an iconic list of back-to-backs, like you said. Hasn't happened since Billy Donovan, I believe, 17 and 18 years ago at Florida. So that's massive. That is a small small list of people, especially in the post UCLA kind of era, that it doesn't really happen anymore. So that would make him a very special part of history. But as far as overall, we are a decade away from that, because you could still make an argument that Jim Larrañaga, even without the championship, taking George Mason, which is, George Mason, and then Miami, a very historical non-power in basketball, to its first ever Final Four, you could argue, I don't really care either way, that he is a better coach in history than Danny Hurley today. But 10 or 15 years from now, when Hurley has stacked 200-300 more wins, that conversation changes because of the longevity. So, regardless, he's an awesome coach. This Connecticut team is one of the best men's teams we've seen in a long time. They're just impenetrable, it seems like. And so that's why, I've thought, and it's not like I'm, a shocking statement here, or I'm so smart. That's why I thought Connecticut was going to run away with this, and we'll see if they do. But he's certainly on his way on that path toward being mentioned in some of those conversations.
How crazy is that family? You got dad, Hall of Fame coach in Jersey, tons of players gone to college into the NBA. Brother wins 2 national championships. Now he's coaching. Actually, he's going to be out by his brother in Scottsdale. His brother's at ASU. And now he was, I don't want to say the forgotten one, but he was the least decorated. Well, that all kind of changed last year when he won that national championship as a coach. And then if he wins it this year, wow. That is one hell of a family. I'm so happy for them. I'm so proud of, that's tough, man. But everybody, basketball obviously runs in that family. I think, I'm kind of rooting for him because I was a big Bobby Hurley fan. All right. Growing up, watching him and his Duke team. And then, and as I found out more about his story, about his brother and his dad, I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm rooting for him. There's no dog in the fight for me, but if I had to pick one, gun to my head, definitely I would love to see Danny win. And Danny seems like the more chill type kind of guy. Like, yeah, we'll get it. He's fiery, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. He just reminds me of some of my friends that I knew growing up and, in grammar school and high school and college. And I just think I would be so happy to have him win it again. And I think it'd be pretty awesome. Let me see. Because I'm thinking, so you want Purdue, you're looking at Purdue and UConn, right?
Yep, that's my expectation. I think Purdue's backcourt will be the difference, and I think UConn is just too good. Alabama doesn't play much defense. They might score 90, but they might give up 120. So I think that's the way it goes. Alabama's been a fun story as far as just kind of scrapping together some wins. Hasn't been pretty, but it doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to score one more point than the other guy, and they keep doing it. So I think UConn does just run away because of its own defense is going to be able to slow Alabama a little bit. And then they're going to score. Short of UConn just having an absolutely terrible shooting day, they're going to get a lot of open looks. It's just a matter of whether you hit them. Normally you do. Sometimes you don't. But normally they do, and so I think UConn will win.
Does Hurley stay at UConn?
Yeah. Unless he's going to the pros for like $8 million a year or something. Yeah. He's got a juggernaut there. If he stays, what he's done really well too is you don't want to avoid one and dones. You absolutely want some of the best talent, but he's been able to get some of these guys who are staying for multiple years. So that's, in the college game, man, that's huge.
And that's why there's a lot of upsets. And that's what I'd said this for years. When you get guard play, which is paramount in the tournament, and you got guys who are juniors, seniors, this is why they're beating these star-studded freshman teams, because you have guys who've been there. You have guys who are, more mature, more experienced in the college game. And it's not just about talent at that point. It's about strategy. It's about schemes. It's about styles. And they can pull it out. They can run it back, push the tempo. Like they can do whatever because of their experience. And yeah, you get guards in their third and fourth year You got to watch out for those teams. Those are the teams you want. You've got to find out their guard play and like, okay, this team might upset, in the first round or two. But hey, listen, great stuff, Papa. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yep, you can find all my stuff on Bleacher Report. Look for it this weekend after the game Saturday, after the game Monday. I'm very excited to get out there. I'm thinking UConn takes it home, but I'm going to sit there like everybody else and just enjoy what we have. We've got a really, really good Final Four. Got a fun story of NC State. Two teams we thought were going to be there all year with UConn and Purdue, and then Alabama making a fun run into their first Final Four. So lots of good stories. Enjoy the weekend, and thanks for having me on, Shawn. I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say enjoy the weekend, but that goes without saying, dude. Nice weather, Final Four. Yeah, I think you'll be just fine.
I think so.
We'll talk soon, Dave. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, that's David Kenyon from Bleacher Report talking college basketball with us. Man, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this weekend. So listen, let's take a quick break. I'll put a nice little bow on this thing. Last break of the show and last break of the week. And, here's something. I'm going to talk about this on the other side of the break. All right. Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run as a Los Angeles Dodger. Okay. The other day. And, when the ball goes in the stands, people go crazy. They go for it. And people also know, like, oh, man, this is Shohei Ohtani's first home run as a Dodger. It's worth something. If he wants it, most likely he's going to want it. You know what I mean? Most likely he's going to want it. So you get that. You're like, cool. Or I could just keep it and sell it. People are going to want it. They're going to pay some money for it. Organizations, if they're milestone home runs, okay, like the first with the team or your 100th or 50th or 200th, whatever, they'll go and they'll have the security guard or the say, hey, they'll approach the fans, say, hey, we'd like to, can we have the ball and we'll give you something in return. And at that point, because it's your ball, it's the fans' ball. When the balls leave the ballpark, the field of play, okay, they belong to the fans. Okay, they belong to the fans. But what the Los Angeles Dodgers did, kind of shitty. This gives you another reason to hate the Dodgers. Not that I don't really hate them. I actually kind of like them. I remember growing up watching them. But if you don't like the Dodgers, here's a really good reason to continue not to like the Dodgers and what they did to the people who who came up with Shohei Ohtani's first Los Angeles Dodger home run. Kind of crappy. Kind of strong arm type stuff. Yeah, I thought that was kind of crappy. We'll talk about it. All right. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Gyro pressures cause the reactor strand.
Yes, Wi-Fi. I hate this.
Center FedEx 463. Yeah, we just got a cargo fire indication. We'd like to declare an emergency. We're just getting ourselves down here as fast as we can. Stand by.
That's what you can do if you want to do it. Look, come down, buddy. Jesus Christ didn't tell me what to do. Never mind you.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Oh, my producer Steve-O made that for me. I don't know if you saw instead of Shawn and Maya, it said Greg. Oh man, that was crazy. That was crazy. So Jay Grizz, what are you talking about? Earthquake just struck up in northern New Jersey, 5.5 on the Richter scale. Wow. I wonder how much that New Jersey, but I wonder how much that could have affected or did affect New York City. Damn. Well, prayers out to everybody up there, man. Holy sheesh. Before the break, all right, I talked about, the controversy over Ohtani's first home run as a Dodger. And according to the article in The Athletic, okay, by Sam Blum. Okay. Amber Blum. I'm sorry. Amber Roman, excuse me. Amber Roman is the woman who came up with the ball. Okay. According to the article, she's a lifelong Dodger fan and said she watched as her husband kind of dove to the ground trying to get Shoei's home run ball. And then all of a sudden she looked at her feet, and there it was. She picked it up and she's fired up, as anybody would be, right? So, now this is what. So I'm like, she's excited. So you know what happens? They go and they take them, back afterwards, and they're talking about, okay, well, we like, Mr. Otani would like the ball, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, well, what do we do? There's a swap that's got to go on here. All right, there's a swap. All right, just the way it is. You know how it is. And so what they did is they took her back. It's like, okay, cool, but I don't know what happened. So why this happened, I have no idea. Here he is. And so she said, I'd never, a million years, I never thought I'd get it. Okay. And he said, it took a crazy turn because she said her and her husband, Alexis Valenzuela, said they felt kind of swindled by the security staff. And, people just being jagbags. And according to the article, it says, with significant home run balls, there's a give and take between a team and a fan who catches it. Players usually take, memorabilia, maybe a meet and greet with the player. Like, I want to meet him. Okay. I have the ball. He wants it. I want to meet him. Okay. And that's cool. It's not too crazy. Not invite him over for dinner. Just have to go down there and give him the ball, whatever. So they said that the security separated them. Why would you separate a husband and wife? And it said pressured them and left them little choice to hand over the ball for a low ball offer. Said the Dodgers, they gave away, they said, here, we'll give you 2 signed hats by Otani. All right. And allegedly those 2 hats will be worth at least $100,000. Okay. But here's the thing. Roman said that the hardball tactics didn't stop there. It said that they included the threat. The LA Dodgers refused to authenticate the baseball if she took it home. Well, if it's not authenticated, you can't sell it for anything. So she's like, well, if I can't sell it, what the hell is the purpose of me having it? So she kind of had to take the 2 hats, and the husband said, hey, we're not trying to extort anyone. It's not that we're money hungry. It's just that it's a special moment. It's a special ball. I think it's fair for it to be equally rewarded. I was just disappointed that a team that I hold so dear pulled a quote unquote quick one on us, unquote. So they left the Dodger Stadium with 2 hats, a signed bat, and a ball. All right, a little more than just the 2 hats. And they didn't get to meet Otani. Despite Otani saying that he'd met them after the game. Now you know he's a liar. He's a freaking liar. All right, he's got the gambling shit going on. He's lied about that. And through his interpreter, Otani said, I was able to talk to the fan and was able to get it back. Obviously, it's a special ball, a lot of feelings toward it. I'm very grateful that it's back. This is what he said. He said he met the fan. All right, Otani, you're starting to become a little jagbag to me now. You're starting to become a jagbag. Because what the hell would it cost you? What would it cost you to say, hey, you know what? Bring him in. I'd love to meet him. I'll ask him for the ball myself. I'll sign it in front of him. I'll sign a hat. I'll sign a jersey. I'll sign whatever. I just want that ball back. Please bring him in. How difficult would that be? Or just sign a hat like you did, but then don't lie about it. So now the question is, did Otani say that he did, or did his interpreter just say that he did? Because that's some bullshit. And if you're a Dodger fan, how would you feel? I'm telling you, meeting him If they would have got to meet him, take a picture with him and the ball, and you still gave him 2 hats, they'd have been happy as a pig in slop. That thing would have been framed on their wall, that picture. You know what I'm saying? They would have brought it back to a game. They would have made a poster out of it, brought it back to a game and said, hey, would you sign it? He'd probably sign it so they could put it back on the wall. Come on, man. You know what I mean? But for the Dodgers security staff to separate them, kind of force them and play hardball with them, no pun intended. And then for the team, here's the kick in the nuts. The teams say they would not authenticate the baseball. Really? You wouldn't authenticate the baseball. After they paid, who knows how much they paid for the tickets? Who knows how much they paid for concessions? Who knows how much they paid for parking? And they caught the ball. And now you're going to say, yeah, you know what? We're not going to authenticate it. Fuck you. Give us the ball. Is literally what they said. I think that's pretty shitty. I think that's horrible by the Dodgers organization. I just think that's horrible. You know, the husband said, quote, they really took advantage of her. There are a bunch of security guys around her. They wouldn't let me talk to her or give her any advice. There's no way for us to leave. They pretty much had her cornered in the back. And he said he was kept at a distance from his wife by the security guards and told they couldn't talk to each other. You couldn't talk? That's my wife. On second thought, we're leaving. We're leaving. You know what I'm saying? We're leaving. I can have the ball. You can see it. I could do a live on it. There's so many different things you can do to authenticate the ball. Hey, this is the baseball I just caught. Shohei Ohtani's baseball. Look at, oh, it's got this little mark here from where the bat hit the ball. You know what? I'm going to put a little X here or something that you can mark the ball. So when you went to sell it, you can do something to show people that this is the actual ball. I just thought it was kind of shitty. Yeah. Right there, say we're leaving. Hell yeah, dude. No. You can't. I can't be with my wife. Your security guard's gonna have to throw me out because that's my wife. There's no way. We're gonna make this decision, not her. We are. Tell him short, trying to play the game without fans. Yeah. And this whole on top of the whole gambling thing. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ohtani going up, throwing his interpreter under the bus. These are not my debts. I never gambled on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, we're not stupid. The only reason he found out was because there was money being. Shohei Ohtani's name came up from a bookie that the feds were investigating. That's the way this came out. So yeah, he's taking his interpreter, and apparently he was close to him, was taking the money out to pay the debts. And he's like, oh no, he stole it. He stole the money. I can't believe it. Oh my God, I can't believe he stole from me. Come on, man. That's not cool. All right. You're I'm starting to look at you like a piece of shit now. I could be wrong. But you have this scandal, you throw your dude under the bus, and then, and then you don't tell them, no, bring those people in here. Yes, I would love the ball. I'd love to ask them myself for the ball. I'll sign it back. How tough is that? You're Shohei Ohtani. You're the $700 million Mickey Ficky man. They're going to do what you ask. The Dodgers, I'm saying. You tell them, hey, bring them in here. I'd love to meet them. Is that so hard? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your time after the game to get the ball back that you want. Your first home run as a Dodger, your milestone home run, or a milestone home run for you. You get the ball for 15 minutes extra of your time after the game? That's too much to ask? Where's his integrity? Yeah. It's just the right thing to do. It's being a good person. I told you, I'm starting to look at him like a piece of shit now. With this whole scandal, with this. Come on, man. You could have done better. You should have done better. Not happy. Not happy. So I liked him. I have no more glowing reviews for him because you're just a piece of trash, dude, to me. Luis, rise and grind, Papa. He's like, that dude is bad news. Yeah, man, he is. Come on, bro. It's literally 10 to 15 minutes of your time, if that long. And you can make it 5 minutes. All right, here you go. Hey, Mr. Ohtani, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And he said, hey, through his interpreter, would you mind if I have the ball? I'll be more than happy to give you some signed stuff. Yes, I'd love it. Go get a bat. Here's your bat. Go get a hat. Here's a hat. Go get a jersey. Here's a jersey. Let's take a picture. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Man, I can't tell you. It's, been a lifelong Dodger fan. All right, but blah, 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 blah. It's so great to meet you. I'm glad you're on the team. Have the interpreter tell them. All right. I say, cool. No problem. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate this ball. Interpreter tell them that. Boom. And they're gone. 5 minutes. 10 minutes, absolute max. And you couldn't do that. Some people don't get it, man. Some people just don't get it. That really annoyed the hell out of me when I saw that, when I read that article. If you get The Athletic, there's an article in there. It's by Sam Blum, who wrote that. Yeah, kind of pissed me off. Oh man, 2 hours has come and gone. I want to thank my guests, Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now, for coming out and talking Bears with me. My man David Kenyon for coming out and talking NCAA tournament with me, the Final Four, men's and women's. All right, they made it a phenomenal show, and you guys were the buttermilk icing on the cake, taking it over the top. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, man, thank you so much. I appreciate the love and the support. Please make sure you follow. If you're not following it, please make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago on our YouTube channel. Por favor. Luis. I would have busted his shots by asking him how much you want to bet I'm going to keep this ball. How much you want to bet? I agree. Hey, Plank, thank you, man. I appreciate the support, Papa. I really do. Well, listen, there's more. If you like me, you'd like to hear my crazy mouth, you catch me later today, 3:00. I'll be on the SuperBack and Nomad with our daily Bears Talk podcast. You can check us out. All right, it'll be on my personal page here. It'll be on Shawn Sierra Sports on Facebook. It'll also be on Sports Zone Chicago's Roku channel, so you can catch us on there today at 3:00. But before then, 12:15, Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sidney Brown. They're going to give you another 2 hours of Chicago sports talk. They're going to talk the tournament. They're going to talk the crappy White Sox, talk the Cubs as they host the Dodgers. They should boo him. They should just boo his ass when he gets here. All right. Enjoy this weekend, folks. I know I will. I'm looking forward to it. college basketball, 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow, 1 game Sunday, 1 game Monday. Whoo, it's going to be good. All right. Before I go, I'll ask you this. I'll ask you to make sure to do something. Would you do something, please, to make someone smile? Do something that makes someone feel good. All right. I followed my own advice. I've been trying to reach out to my guy Manny, and we just hadn't been able to contact. I hadn't seen him. I think his son's like 4 years old, maybe 5 years old now. And I remember when his girl was pregnant with their son. And so I've never met his son. So it's been about 4 years, 5 years. And I was like, man, we'll talk on Facebook. We'll text every once in a while. But about a month ago, I said, hey, let's get together for Sunday, have some drinks or Sunday. And he's like, yeah, well, he's got kids and, it's tough to get out in the evening. I'm like, hey, we can do brunch. He's like, oh, brunch will be perfect. So after our schedule is just busy, we're hooked up for Sunday. So I'm fired up. All right. I'm fired up. He's fired up because we haven't seen each other in years. And that's what I'm talking about. All right. Make plans with one of your peoples. All right. Say hello. Send a text message to your cousin, to your friend, to your brother you may not have talked to in weeks or months. Just say, hey, just thinking about you. Do something, put a little more positivity, put a little more love in the world, right? Because it's a pretty crappy place, oftentimes. All right. It needs a lot more love. All right. Do something good for someone, make someone smile. And man, I guarantee you, it will come back to you tenfold. All right. So this show will be replayed tonight at 6:00. All right. 12:15 today on Friday. Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. This is going to be then I will be on my other podcast with Nomad at 3:00 Central Time. This show is going to be Shawn and Maya is going to be replayed at 6 tonight, and then tomorrow the Smoke Fellas live from Eduardo Lemon's out in Richmond Park. They'll be on tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Man, you ain't getting rid of us. So much sports to talk. So everybody have a phenomenal weekend. It's supposed to be warm today. It's supposed to be a little warm. But remember, it's a great day. The fact that you woke up, make sure you have an attitude of gratitude. All right. It's not complaining about the things we have, the things we have to deal with, and be grateful for the things that we have. All right. I'm out of here, guys. I'm fired up for the weekend. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. You guys have a phenomenal weekend. All right. I am out.